Oh, workflows with an automated are very complex. They can do exactly what you mentioned, which is a simple email notification or SMS notification, but can go very, very far. It can be math operations. It could be exporting your data to an external system, let's say Google Sheets. It could be making API calls, actually. People can make a, a relationship or a connection to a third party vendor, such as Rush or maybe directly with a carrier from Automate without hiring a program.
Welcome to Insurance Shoptalk. This is the podcast where the world of commercial insurance gets a little closer to home. I'm your host, Eric Stein, and in every episode, we're taking a deep dive into the insurance industry, from the latest news and trends to in-depth interviews with insurtech experts, carriers, and agency newsmakers. We're covering it all. So sit back, tune in, and let's start the conversation. So today we have Vlad on the line. I'll let him pronounce his last name. I won't butcher that. From NowCerts and Automate 365, which is a property and casualty insurance CRM and agency management system, cloud-based. They compete with all the big boys, but we've used them for now over a year with Insured Solutions and one of our retail sister companies as well, and have had some really good success with the program. We had tried different things, and I had seen AMS 360 and some others, and comparing and contrasting, and you get a lot of features for the bucks for this program. So I definitely wanted Vlad to kind of walk through his background, and on top of that, some of the benefits to P&C agents for the program he's built with his team. But Vlad, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Eric. We have known each other for a while. I'm really glad that you invited me. Really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so Vlad, why don't you start with giving us a brief history of your background, where you're located, and how you came up with the
Sure.
idea to get in this space.
So the idea, NowCerts as a AMS and as a software is actually quite legacy. Nowadays, IT systems are within 2 to 3 years old, and that's considered to be an established business. NowCerts is over 10 years old. Peter and I met, my business partner Peter and I, we met in Salt Lake City, Utah, where we started a small P&C agency, primarily commercial business. And NowCerts was built for our own purposes and reasons, to serve people better and to serve our customers with certificates at the time, hence the name NowCerts. We sold a book, and we kept the software. The NowCerts software is what at the time was really nothing. It was simply just spinning off a couple of certificates here and there. But then we started building on top of it. I did leave Peter alone for a while, worked at a couple of larger banks, um, Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan. And then I returned back approximately 4 years ago. Alongside NowCerts, which is an AMS, property and casualty, but we do have also life and health as well. We have Automate 365 CRM. The CRM bit is a little bit different than the AMS. They work in correlation and conjunction with each other to serve our agencies. So that's kind of the background of me and how we started NowCerts, and Automate being the CRM thereafter.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I know with me, I started with NowCerts, which is the agency management system. Your pricing is really attractive. Your service has been really great for that. And then quickly added the integrated CRM. I came off of Agency Zoom. I looked at Salesforce. I've had some other marketing automation systems in the past that we used at Insurance Solutions or MGA. But for the money, you get a lot of power out of Automate and NowCerts in that, especially with Automate, the CRM, what I noticed is you put like 30 vendors into one program there. Could you talk a little bit about that, with your AI that you're integrating? You've got the forms that are there for the web forms, the chat bots, email software that can email 80,000 people at one button. You have created like a marketing
Absolutely.
automation system,
The marketing automation systems are very catered to insurance agents. And keep in mind that insurance itself is quite a complex um, industry. If you have a car dealership, or maybe you're a painter, or maybe it's a construction of some sort, well, that is your product and that is your service. With insurance, well, you have general liability. Well, that's one product and one service. You have personal auto and homeowners and flood insurance and then workers' comp. Well, guess what? Each one of those are different, and on the top of that, they're different in terms of accessing them through carriers, MGAs, etc. The customer base is different. So this is not an easy business, insurance itself. And building a software that can accommodate all of these variations of insurance is also complex. And in terms of what you just mentioned, sending emails, well, how we have catered our templates and our workflows and automations when someone is first starting out is to help them maybe a little bit with renewals. So renewal workflow, 45 days before the renewal comes in, SMS goes out, email goes out. Cross-selling. If you have homeowners, but you don't have the auto, maybe we can introduce that agency to a program to introduce the agency's customers to a program that might be suited for that customer, giving them a discount. That cross sell opportunity is quite important. That is what brings the value of an agency higher, because you do have stickiness within the agency, and you have more diverse book. That being said, that also adds complexity. If you have a single line of business, you have single product in your basket, well, that is quite simple. Most people do seek diversity, and most people want to diversify for the reasons of what I mentioned. Stickiness, value of the book in the future, and that happens through the CRM, identifying within the AMS, identifying the cross-selling opportunities, tagging them in a certain way, sending it over to the CRM, and obviously approaching that group of people in with landing pages, funnels within the email builder, SMS, etc.
Perfect. Yeah, and like when I was looking at it, I just was in the process of I pulled the trigger, I think, even with Agency Zoom, because it was cloud-based, pretty simple. I didn't want anything too complicated for the CRM portion. It had some integrations, but then as I got into it, every time I wanted to add something, like I wanted to add the chat feature on my website, I had to go to Podium for that. I wanted to add I had to get a separate phone system. Your phone system built into here. I had to use a cloud-based web-based form service, because I had, agents that I wanted to get them appointed online and fill everything out online. So I had to go to a separate company for that. You have cracked, like, the agent's nirvana is to have everything in one system as much as you can. It's never going to happen 100% or even 90%, but to try to get as many vendors in the same integrated system with one login, is the perfect situation. So you caught on to that, I think, very early on, because you added a ton of vendor product integration with, agents, premium finance, electronic signature. I mean, you've got, like I said, a lot of vendors in this one product for $350 a month is is unbelievable.
You're absolutely right. So we do have all these options. We do have email templates. We have SMS, mass email, um, AI bot that you can put on your website, websites, funnels, forms, as you said, surveys,
The
very
proposal.
complex automations, proposal workflows, pipelines as well that you can move the cards around left and right, tasks, etc., etc. All of that in one place. And you know, agencies, they don't have to use all available features, and most people don't. Just like I subscribe to Excel, and I pay Microsoft every year, but that doesn't mean I use all of its capabilities. I use maybe 5%, but I know that it is there. 5% is actually generous, probably less than that. But I know that it's there, and I use it for what I need. And the same, I believe, applies to Automate and to NowCerts. We do have the capability of tracking commissions. We do have the capability of carrier downloads. We have the capability of mass emails, SMS, etc. Does that mean that everyone is going to use it? No. But even if you use just one thing, the AI chatbot, or if you use just the email templates, and that does something for you, sends a message to your customer base, well, guess what? That is actually worth it. That is sufficient. That is sufficient for many people, and that's what I have seen as well. People pick areas um, of the system that they want to explore, and they build on top of it and build on top of it, and that's how they get the value out of both NowCerts and Ultimate.
And another, you're right. And another unique thing I noticed, unlike Agency Zoom, I'm sorry to keep picking on them. They're fine. Now they're owned by Vertafore, I believe. But I have my own dedicated representative, Boyka, who, I set regular appointments with my nearshore, offshore team to help me, with the programming and the setup of different things. And I just try to stay on a schedule. How did you come up with that idea, if you were to come up with having your own CRM? I have my own client service manager I can talk to. Normally it's hard to communicate with people on this, for these products.
So, Eric, our main product is NowCerts, and Automate is the CRM bit, which was always meant for the purpose of helping agencies grow their book. If they grow their book, that means they're happy. They won't leave NowCerts. We actually don't benefit from Automate because what from the CRM, and that is why, because we dedicate a representative to an agency. You can imagine if you have just a single call per week, which you can have daily calls if you want. If you have just a single call per week, well, guess what? Your subscription goes towards that person's pay. And needless to say, obviously, there are programmers in the background. There's much more expenses than that. So there is really no financial benefit from the CRM. However, it is a benefit in a way that indirectly, as agencies grow their book of business, cross-sell their book, etc., they remain within NowCerts, and that's our main product. That is why there is a big difference between CRM of its own, where this is their main goal and main objective is to make money. So as you mentioned, they send you to Podium or to some other place, and then you pay for this and you pay for that, and for 500, if you have more than 500 contacts, then you pay more. If you have more users, you pay more, etc., etc. None of that, because it is not our main product. This product is meant to keep agents happy by growing their book.
Absolutely. And then I think you had mentioned to me when we got to set the call up that you have a way to help if an agent is looking to sell their book of business, that you can help prepare that data. You want to talk through that?
Absolutely. So both the NowCerts data and the Automate data is completely exportable at any given time. You can definitely export your Automate data. You can export your NowCerts data, And what I mentioned earlier was that cross-selling opportunity, that renewal rate. If you are on top of your renewals, and what I mean by renewals is people shouldn't be thinking that if they send an email 40 days before renewal, then they have done their job. That renewal process starts from the time that the policy is in effect. 5 days later, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Birthdays, holidays, 4th of July, President's Day, and other types of reasons and of touch points throughout the year that an agent has the ability to set up in advance and have all of those emails, SMS go out, so that when time comes for renewal, it is not an awkward conversation. Well, who are you? I actually forgotten about you. It was a year ago. Um, those touch points are very important. So that's what the CRM does. Renewals and cross selling. That's what prepares an agency for getting better money at an exit strategy. You have good renewal rate. You have good diversity with various carriers, various lines of business, different states, different customer profiles, and you're renewing them at a good rate. Well, that's what counts. Whomever is buying your book would be counting on that money not to end as soon as the agency owner leaves.
Makes sense. And I think that's important to be able to export that data out, easily. I know
Very easily.
when we acquired a small retail agency, and to try to get AMS 360 to Vertafore to help us to get reports out, it was just a nightmare, and tickets and just a kind of a process. So it's kind of nice to be able to quickly get what you need if needed for a book sale, book roll. Sometimes when carriers go under or get out of the line of business, we need as agents to be able to move that book around. So grabbing data is really important. One thing, if you could speak to about when an agency is evaluating, let's say they've been with AMS 360 or Epic, let's just say AMS 360, they are growing, they need to, help reduce costs, simplify things. The hardest thing is making that changeover. How do you help with that changeover? What would you recommend to agents who are trying to evaluate moving an AMS, or now maybe looking at just a CRM portion to hopefully, help them grow? Like, how do you advise agents who are moving from an existing legacy system?
So we do convert AMS 360 because you did mention this. I am repeating after. We're quite familiar with their data structure. The very first step is an agency needs to request what is called data backup. AMS 360 does charge money for that. But once the agency has paid, they do provide the data. That data is sent over to us, and we start the conversion process. Developers are involved, SQL data type of developers are involved in converting the data over to NowCerts. At that point, we recommend starting with our what we call university. We have multiple courses where people can take to get familiar with the system. Click around. Here's how you create a new insured. Here's how you do an endorsement. Here's how you upload a new attachment. Here's how you create a new task. Here's where you put a note, and so on and so forth. These are some of the basics. And then after that, we obviously have trainers. Booking training appointments with our people is important. It's very important. In fact, I totally encourage that, whether that be for NowCerts or Automate. Booking an appointment with us is important so that we don't spend valuable time in trying to figure out something super simple when we can just simply have a conversation, share a screen, and get through it real quick. Let's say commissions or carrier downloads, merging them, or any kind of more complex operations. Booking an appointment with us is what we recommend. We love speaking. We love speaking to people. We have quite a large team. doing this every single day.
Okay, that's nice that you got everything organized and you put some hands-on support there in addition to the like video training and courses and such for the downline of CSRs and agents who are going to be working in the system. That kind of speeds up the process. And then also on another note, as far as and I haven't completely set this up myself yet, so I haven't seen it in action, but the portion with integrating with social media, and that, you can pretty much launch your posts through Automate, which again is another vendor you typically have to use to help with that, and you have it integrated. Like, can you talk a little bit about how that works to be able to post to, let's say, Facebook and the others?
So two portions of that integration. One is posting. So you can create a post within Automate using AI. Obviously, you don't even have to go to ChatGPT in order for AI to write your text. You can use Automate because Automate does have an integration with ChatGPT so that your text can be written rather quickly and quite well, to be honest. Second thing is you write it once, you schedule that in advance, and it gets posted to the various social media platforms, whether that be Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever those places are. All of that goes simultaneously at once. Second bit of that integration is lead generation. Let's say you have a Facebook form, and that form is targeting people in the state of Georgia who are looking who need workers' compensation for nannies or whatever the specific it is, whatever line of business that is. Well, that form is targeting those people. Let Facebook do its job and bring you leads. It will be a fraction of the cost of what you would be actually paying some vendor to send you a cold list that you would have to be calling out. Fraction of the cost. On top of that, that data comes right into Automate. Automatic email goes to the customer, immediately notifying them, look, I received your request. Thank you very much. Within the email template, we have the capability of embedding a quick survey or a quick form, asking them maybe a couple more questions, engaging with them, and then allowing them to either schedule an appointment on an agent's calendar or calling them back and proceeding further, depending obviously on the complexity of the line of business, whether you have a CSR gather some information for you or the agent. That is very dependent on the line of business. So that process in place. The integration with social media is twofold. So like I said, one is the posting, and two is once you have boosted that post through advertising, gathering some of those leads, well, they're coming back into the CRM, and you're actioning based on that.
And all the lead flow from either social media or a website, the agency website, can be then sent back in and put into like a round robin if you want to be sent through to the sales team, right? So various reps can get in touch.
If the agency is large enough to have more than one person making phone calls or picking up the phone, then yes, round robin is available and it is used. If the agency is large enough to have a team, yes, correct.
Got it. And then I know my team uses the you have to refresh the name of it, what it is, but it basically we set up a process where if we do get a lead with a new agent, let's say filling out an appointment application to get started with us, it'll automatically set a workflow to set up a task for me, as an example, to now get in contact with that agent. So I see that in my tasks. And all the information from the form, like the PDF of their licenses, the marketing agreement, everything is in their record. It automatically comes right in under their agent name for me. So talk about workflows like that. And what have you seen agents use them for?
Oh, workflows with with an automator are very complex. They can do exactly what you mentioned, which is a simple email notification or SMS notification, but can go very, very far. It can be math operations. It could be exporting your data to an external system, let's say Google Sheets. It could be making API calls, actually. People can make a, a relationship or a connection to a third-party vendor, such as SquadRush or maybe directly with a carrier from Automate without hiring a program. They can build this. It's a drag and drop type of situation where you can make an API call to a third-party vendor, get a quote back based on the data that they have inputted on your website, which is fantastic. In fact, we have many of those examples now. Agencies have built exactly what I just said because they have an appointment. The carrier allows for an API connection to get quotes. Well, guess what? They're using it. They're placing that on their website. That keeps people engaged, and those forms they can live on a website. They can live on Facebook pages. They can live on within email templates, and so on. So these are very versatile forms with very powerful workflows behind it that go above and beyond the usual CRM thing where a task is created, note is created, email is sent, SMS is sent. You can build integrations with carriers for quoting through Automate, which is fantastic. This is way far beyond any CRM capabilities.
P&C agents, have you run into Byberg, which is a Berkshire Hathaway company quoting workers' comp for either your prospects or clients? Well, great news. Insurance Solutions, a national MGA, has an appointment that is set up to allow you to quote, bind, and service Byberg at your agency. And the coverage is in all states. It's A-rated. Startups are even accepted. There's $125,000 maximum premium. And some of the tough industries they write are construction, transportation, that includes towing and parcel delivery, manufacturing, security guards that are armed and unarmed, motor mediation, and many more. So go to our website at insurancesolutions.net, click the Get Appointed link. We'll get you logins for you and your team and can set up a webinar for training if you'd like. Also, feel free to email info@insurancesolutions.net and I can handle the submission myself, or call 770-402-5343. Be glad to speak to you and give you more detail. Thanks. Absolutely. And yeah, what I like is that it just, it literally, sorry for the pun, but it does automate the whole model. So I don't have to have an admin, pushing every piece of the step, to create a task or, that sort of thing. Also, one of the services I've been using recently, I hired a third-party telemarketing firm to reach out to agents about our programs that we offer them. And so they're using the information in Automate and NowCerts, and then through the phone system that's integrated, they're able to do auto dialing, group dialing. They're able to, it notes the conversation. You want to talk a little bit about the phone integration?
Phone integration is great. What you just mentioned. So we use Twilio as our the backend of the phone system itself. Yes, you can make phone calls, you can receive phone calls, you can have a call tree based on they push one, they push two, three, goes to this person, to that person. On top of that, we have what is called the dialer. I'm not sure if you've used it, but you can place people on the dialer and your CSR comes in, let's say it's pending cancels, list of pending cancels that need to be called every single day. They could be SMS, they could be emailed, they're still not responding, they need to be called, or renewals or whatever the case might be. Let's say pending cancels. Here's 20 of them that need to be called. As soon as that person logs in, goes to the dialer and clicks one button, it starts dialing one after another, pulls up the profile of the insured, pulls up the profile of the insured. It is dialing in the background. And depending on the disposition of the call, meaning what happens on that conversation, maybe the person doesn't pick up, maybe is busy at the moment, or something else is happening. Well, that would determine what happens with the following steps. If no answer, then an SMS is sent. Hey, I just tried reaching you. I'll try again tomorrow. All right. It goes back to the list for the following day. Maybe some other CSR picks it up, maybe has better luck, maybe at a different time of the day. All of that is based on the disposition of the call. If a conversation was made and the money was collected, well, the person gets out of the workflow. No more emails, no more SMSs. They made the payment, and their policy is no longer pending cancel. They get out of that workflow. So we have, yes, the simple making and receiving phone calls on top of the fact that we have a dialer where agencies usually have to pay subscription to a dialing service to go and import a bunch of numbers and then start dialing them one by one. This way, you know that your CSR has gone through them because the thing would not stop. Once you push the button, it just goes next, next, and next, and next. You know that it's done. And you see what the disposition of those calls is. So
Exactly.
these are some of the things that you mentioned earlier. We have a dialer within the system, besides the fact that we have a phone system itself. I mean, that's once again well above and beyond the CRM's capability.
Exactly. Yeah, most a lot of CRMs or agency management systems I've seen, they can integrate with whatever voice over IP system maybe that you already have. But I like that, this came with the phone system already integrated at no additional cost to me. Other than maybe if
Mhm.
we exceed a certain amount of some maybe calling, but that everything that is sort of part of the package and you don't feel nickel and dime the way you've set this up versus some of the others who there's a fee for this, fee for that. You can get quite a bit from just the base package that you have from Automate and NowCerts, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, like we were speaking earlier today, the way you have your emails set up, and I'm very impressed by the way you have it set up, because I think that I'm in your list of people that you email. And every single time you send an email, this is impressive. This is very difficult. This is art, and it's very difficult to get that right. Every single email that you send comes right in my inbox from and I'm talking about your marketing emails and the mass emails that you're sending. I'm not talking about one-on-one conversations. Those are different. Those marketing emails are hitting my inbox every single time, not in my promotion section or in spam or something, right in my inbox. This is phenomenal how you have that set up. By the way, you should probably teach others to do the same,
I
because
appreciate
it's
it.
it's very difficult to get that right. You really should share that knowledge to other agencies. It's very difficult to get it right. Um, in the in terms of the price and what you mentioned, the nickel and diamond, no, it's one package for everything. Yes, 150, 250, 350, 550, whatever it ends up costing you a month. Keep in mind what I just mentioned. Getting those emails in inboxes, I mean, that alone to me is worth all the money, because yes, you can try all kinds of email systems and services out there. If you're not getting it in the inbox, I mean, I don't know what, and I don't know what the purpose of the whole thing is. It's basically useless. If you're not getting an inbox, it's useless. So this is one thing. We try to work with agencies so that they don't overwhelm their target market right at the beginning with too many emails, taking the right steps so that they can accomplish what you have.
Definitely. And then one of the cool things that you and Boyka helped me implement with us was the new AI technology and regarding on the website chat. We have agents as an example in our world that are, they're looking for loss runs for their clients. They're looking to facilitate a payment for a client. in our new piece of business.
Book an appointment. Yeah.
Right. And when I was then reviewing how things are going, the answers don't sound like the normal robot chat, and that don't make any sense. It sounds literally the way it's even written sounds like a human is responding to these. Can you talk a little bit about how agencies have used this for their chat on their website about, the certificates, functions that are then just automate that through these chat bots? I remember you told me you had one agency that just really did a phenomenal job of setting it up, with all the data.
So there are three parts of the chatbot. One is it will answer generic questions about pretty much anything. Generic as in what is HO3 in insurance, for example. That it will give you the answer for that, or some other random question. You can set it up so that it has a little delay, as if it's thinking about it, typing as if it's human. Second part is the fact that you can give the bot your website and it will scan your website for data, meaning your phone number, your email address, what lines of business you're selling, things that are related to your website and to your agents. And the third part is teaching the bot and setting it up to your specifications. If they are asking for certificate, then give them this form. If they are asking for a claim, then give them this phone number. If they say they're with Progressive and they're asking for a claim, then give them a different phone number, and so on and so forth. This takes time. This takes time, and it can be quite complex, and it can be quite useful. We have an agency that has set it up as a quoting engine. Oh, what kind of insurance do you want? Oh, I want workers' comp. Great. What state are you in? I'm in the state of Georgia. Great. What industry are you in? I'm in this industry. What's your payroll? That's my payroll. What is your risk modification factor? That's what my risk modification factor. All right. And at the end, it gives them a little bit of a kind of a array of or a spread between, oh, your insurance is probably going to be between this much and that much. If you're interested, would you like to book an appointment? And that's where they go for that booking of appointment. That's the whole purpose of this thing. Or maybe we can, or when what is a good time, Wednesday or Thursday? Giving them two options. Oh, Wednesday is great. Okay, 2 or 3 p.m. Which one works best for you? Well, 2 p.m. works great. Okay, great. Your appointment is booked. That's how they have it set up. And they are constantly building more. I just mentioned workers' comp, but they're constantly building more and more of these questions and answers so that people stay and remain on their website, engage with their website, and getting something back out of that visit to a website, getting something back, and that is a meaningful conversation, a meaningful perhaps the estimation of insurance right on a website with what it feels to be a human. And keep in mind, at any given time, the agent or anyone within the agency can intervene and can stop the bot from answering and can go human to human at any given time. You can just stop it. But if you are busy at the moment, you're shopping, you're driving, you're doing something else, well, the bot is there for that.
Yeah, like I said, it really didn't sound like the traditional, ones. I almost just gave up on using them in the past, but now with the Chat GPT integrations, it really is more intuitive and it learns, like you were saying, from the failures of the communication. We'll keep an eye on it and then fix that for the next time, and then it just keeps getting better, over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeps getting better every single time that you're teaching it. Yes, the agency has to spend time on teaching this bot. It's not going to happen overnight. It will happen with time. This isn't something that would be an immediate thing, and every agency is a little bit different, and the way they want to answer the questions is a little bit different. So it's very specific, very personalized. But it works. It really does work. It works very, very well.
When you said calendar,
and once again, the customer.
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to
Calendar, what do
say,
you?
yeah, you mentioned on the phone that the bot can throw in the calendar link. So, you also have a form of Calendly already built into your system at no extra cost that'll actually book an appointment on the calendar like a Calendly service. So you don't have to pay for Calendly now, so I love that too.
Absolutely. And that continues to get better and better and better. We just introduced kind of a group or a mass. So we have multiple types of calendars within the system. Most recent one is webinar, where one person is presenting to more than one uh, participant on the other end, and that is a new feature. But not only that, the AI bot can look in your calendar, can determine that Wednesday and Thursday you have availability. Doesn't even need to send the link. Can say, okay, which one do you want, Wednesday or Thursday? Giving them two options. I prefer Wednesday. Okay, great. Now I'm looking for availability on Wednesday. Oh, I have two and I have three. Which one works for you? Two. At that time, that's it. That's all the person has to do. They don't have to click on a link. They can actually book through the chat bot without clicking on the link.
Oh, I
It will
love it.
still put the appointment in your calendar, and it will go through. If you have a workflow set up, it will go through, confirming your appointment. It's at this time, and then the reminder goes out, and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
that's funny because a lot of people don't like even filling that information in on an appointment link, just for out of laziness. I'm guilty of it myself. I'd rather email the person and just give them my open time rather than trying to book and look at his schedule, my schedule, and that sort of thing. So, by doing the chat bot, that just takes the other laziness
Two
factor.
questions. Two questions. Giving them Tuesday or Wednesday. Which one works better for you? Okay, Wednesday. Okay, and then second question: 2 or 3 p.m. What a 2 o'clock is great. Okay, you're all set. That's it. Simple questions. What day?
Absolutely.
Giving them two options, and what times? Giving them two options. Two options work best, by the way. Giving them too many options, it's a bit well, you kind of lose some of the audience there. Giving
Agreed.
them two works the best.
Yeah, it makes it complicated. And then can you go into Vlad, anything else new? Is like you sound like you just launched this system that you mentioned there for the appointment setting. Any other new features that are going to be exciting for either NowCerts or Automate that you can give us a hint of that's to come, like what you're working on?
Well, what we're working on now, and this may not be something that is of interest to you specifically, Eric, but it is of interest to many others, is ability to send from different domains. Your domain is very good, so you don't have to do that. Your domain is perfect in terms of deliverability of these emails, but many agencies are struggling with this. It's quite a bit. So now we will have the ability to say, okay, well, here's your this domain, and you know what? It's not working very well because we can see that the open rate is very low or the delivery rate is very low. So how about we try this different domain, and this time let's go a little bit slower, a little bit easier, a little bit smoother on that warming up that email until you hit that mass capability. And it takes time to warm up that domain. It takes time to actually be able to send mass emails without going to spam. So this is something that we're launching now, ability for people to bring in more than one domain so that they can send from this one or from that one. And as time goes on, maybe switching around and so on. This I know doesn't apply to your agency because I would not change anything related to your domain. I said it's working very well, but for many agents, this is a bit of a this is a bit of an issue. They get in trouble at the very start. This capability of sending mass emails, boom! Oh, I got this huge list. They buy this list from somewhere, and it's they pay certain money, 1,000, 1,500, whatever. Very big list. Half of the emails are fake or are to non-existent or whatever those are. They send emails to those people. That domain gets blocked, and it takes time, and it takes time, and it takes time to get it back in shape.
That's awesome. And then anything with NowCerts that's coming out that's unique that you can tell us?
So we are launching, and we're actively working on our rating capability, particularly for commercial. This is not something that is readily available out there, but we do have that availability now, and multiple carriers have been onboarded, multiple are coming. We would have the ability to quote with existing appointment of an agency, if an agency has an appointment with the carrier, or even without an appointment. And if an agency has an agency code with AM Trust, for example, then there will be a place to put that code, and it would be used for quoting. If not, we still provide a quote, and it's still bindable, even if appointment doesn't exist. So this is something exciting and new that is coming. Obviously, takes time for all this development work to take place, but it is something that we are launching now. It's with a handful of carriers is being launched at this time.
Awesome. So now on that note, will this be an API directly? This is pretend it's AmTrust directly into AmTrust's system, and you're like basically I can stay within NowCerts the whole time, or am I going to have to now log in, take the data from the NowCerts, then log in and rekey?
No, you stay right here, right within NowCerts, and data from within NowCerts is passed over to AmTrust. If something is missing that needs to be added, for example, date of birth is not available, well, they'll give you a little warning, and you put the date of birth, submit it again, gives you some quotes back, presented to whomever need to present it to. Those are quotes that are directly coming from the carrier and our ability to bind them right there on the spot. That is what is very exciting. And once again, I want to mention, with or without an appointment,
Wow.
both
Okay.
will be possible.
No, that makes sense. That's awesome. And then, well, Vlad, how can people get in touch with you if they have questions, want to just talk in general about the possibility of making a change, either from their AMS, or a lot of agents currently are not using a CRM. They're adding that I've noticed in just some of the seminars and, podcasts I listen to, that speak to agents. A lot of agents are now finally getting to the point of being able to integrate a CRM. Like, how do they get in touch with you to talk through it, and then reach you if they have questions?
Absolutely. So my email address is VLAD at NowCerts.com. You can put it in the link in the description below, and at any time someone can reach out. I'll be happy to respond, and we can have a conversation one-on-one.
Excellent. Excellent.
Vlad at NowCerts.com.
Well, Vlad, thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it. Like I've said before, I'm really enjoying the system and working with your team. It's been a pleasure, and I just love how the pricing is finally getting into a point where when I first started and used on marketing automation systems like a Marketo, it's tied into a Salesforce. You're talking 40, 50, 60 grand a year. That's just for marketing automation. That's not a CRM, that's not Salesforce attached. So it's like and what you are doing, even just with the one piece of the mass email and the follow-up that it can do with the AI and so on, is really impressive. And you guys have done a great job of building this out and, getting into the 21st century in terms of, services and pricing really, is really in line so that finally an actual retail agency can afford, to do these things, because most retail agencies are not going to spend $50K for a marketing automation system. It's just out of the question from a margin point. So thank you for what you've done
Absolutely.
for the industry. Really, we appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, Eric. I really appreciate it as well. And we'll speak later.
That sounds great. Have a good one. Appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in to Insurance Shop Talk. If you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest trends, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, I'm Eric Stein, and this has been Insurance Shop Talk.